Hello everyone, today we are going to learn some common verb patterns. To be exact, they are the gerund and the infinitive that you are going to learn. Now take a simple example. With two verbs in a sentence, want and do. Which one for the second verb, do, is correct? A. Doing, which is the gerund. B. To do, that is the infinitive form with to. C. Do, that is the bare infinitive. Now the answer is B. To do. When one verb follows another in a sentence, there are many grammatical patterns that can follow it. Let's begin. Read the passage below. Michael wanted to buy a present for his mother. He finished doing his homework and asked his friend to come with him to help him decide what to buy. He thought about buying a vase, but he couldn't afford it. So in the end, his friend advised him to buy some flowers. The patterns for the verbs in this passage are want to do something, finish doing something, ask somebody to do something, help decide something, think about doing something, can't afford to do something, advise somebody to do something. We should use verb followed by a gerund when we see finish, enjoy, deny, keep. I have a hint for you to remember. Think about the gerund as a process that you have done before the verb. Now I draw a yellow line. That is a timeline indicating we have a process. The gerund is something that is a process that I have done before the verb, finish, enjoy, etc. We should also use verb followed by a gerund when the verb carries a preposition. That is called a phrasal verb. On the other hand, we should use verb followed by an infinitive when we see the following verbs. Now, first we talk about a verb followed by an infinitive with to. Here are the verbs: ask, advise, afford, allow, want, need, forget. I have also a hint for you to remember. These verbs are something related to a request, an advice, a suggestion, or an ability. Next, we use verb followed by a bare infinitive when we see the verbs let, watch, see. Between these verbs and the bare infinitive do, we usually have a pronoun or an object. Now, do you have a rough idea about the types of verb patterns? If not, this is a table for you to recap. Next, some common mistakes with verb patterns. We have two statements of the same meaning in Chinese. 我想你來我的舞會. How should we say correctly in English? I want that you come to my party. Or, I want you to come to my party. To the trained ear, The obvious answer is the second one. I want you to come to my party. How should we say 我在等待從醫院的一封信 correctly in English? I'm waiting a letter from the hospital. Or I am waiting for a letter from the hospital. The verb wait carries a preposition for. Wait for something. How should we say 你可以乘坐巴士去哪裏 correctly in English? You can to go to there by bus, or you can go there by bus. The second one, you can go there by bus, is correct. After the modal verb can, for example, you have to use a bare infinitive, go, instead of to go. It is important to learn the patterns of some verbs. For example, prefer blah 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 to blah blah blah. We can use two gerunds in between. For example, I prefer driving to flying. Or we can use a parallel pattern of to infinitive in between. For example, I prefer to drive rather than to fly. For the second infinitive to fly, we can also say fly. How to say 他們令他承認他的過失 They made him admit his guilt. Alternatively, we can say he was made to admit his guilt. Both are correct. How to say 他們讓他進入大廈 They let him enter the building. Alternatively, we can say they allowed him to enter the building. Both are correct. How to say 我哋對講課感到興趣 We can say we were interested in the lecture, or the lecture was interesting to us. How to say 他花了1個小時去準備晚飯 We can say it took her an hour to prepare the meal. Or she took an hour to prepare the meal. Or preparing the meal took her an hour. Or alternatively, she spent an hour preparing the meal. Finally, before we go to the gap filling exercise, I have a reminder for you. Whenever you learn a new verb, look it up in the dictionary. Use example sentences in the dictionary to help you learn these patterns. Bye-bye.